Science friends, we are back and we are starting a whole new unit today in science. And today I'm so excited. We're actually going to talk about astronomy. And astronomy is when we study space. I'm so excited. Aren't you excited? Okay, so today what we're going to do is I'm going to break this up into two different things, okay? First, I'm going to show you one slideshow, and then I'm going to show you another slideshow. So let's get started. Here we go. Okay, as always, whenever we do something, we start out with our vocabulary. So today we're going to do lesson 1 in astronomy called Introduction to the Space or Sun and Space. So let's get going. Ooh, went too far. All right. Our first vocabulary word is atmosphere, the bubble of air that surrounds the Earth. So here's the Earth, and you can see this little teeny tiny white line that kind of turns blue. That's our atmosphere. You can't really see it, but we're going to talk about it. Parts of the sun's energy is absorbed by the Earth's atmosphere. Gas, a thin substance through which objects can pass, such as smoke or steam. The hot balls of gas become stars. Rays, straight beams of light or energy. The light rays shone through the trees. See, these are rays. Shadow, a shaded spot created when light is blocked from an area behind or under an object. The tree casts a long shadow. Surface, the outside or top layer of an object. The astronauts walked on the surface of the moon. Okay, so now let's talk. Now, we are going to be studying over the next few lessons about astronomy, so the study of outer space, right? So let's look. When I talk about outer space, I'm talking about not Earth. This is Earth. I'm not talking about Earth. I'm talking about what's outside of Earth. Okay. Now we, meaning Earth, is in outer space, but we are not in outer space. I know that sounds really, really confusing. So let's talk about a few things real quick. So what are some objects you can see from Earth in outer space? Let's give you a hint. It's big, hot, bright object. We can see it in the sky during the day. The sun. The sun is in outer space. That object we can see at nighttime, it looks like it's glowing. The moon. And all the small twinkly lights that we see in the sky at night. Stars. All those things are in outer space. The sun, moon, and stars are all in outer space. And we're going to learn more about the sun, moon, and stars. But first, let's talk about something else. Ooh, not that. So I'm going to stop sharing for a second. And let's talk about Earth. Okay, we know that this is called a globe. We talked about it in our last unit when we talked about the history of the Earth. We live on the globe. We know that we live in Clinton or Lake City or Norris or Oliver Springs. We live in all these different areas in our town. Okay, so our little town. And then we live in a state. Can't really see it very well, but it's the state of Tennessee. Okay, we live in the state of Tennessee in the United States of America, on the continent of North America, in the Earth. Okay, so this whole thing, we're just one little tiny speck on this whole little Earth. That's a bunch of stuff. Look at that. But we're just right here, and you can barely see us. We're teeny. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. Teeny tiny on there. Okay, so even though it seems like we're standing on flat ground that's still, like we don't move, we're actually spinning on this huge sphere of the globe on Earth. We're actually, every day we spin. We don't spin very, very fast, but we spin. Okay, and when we go one whole spin, that's one day. Okay, now if we were to travel in a rocket real far up in the sky and then look back down at our Earth, you would see this, like, I don't know. Let me see if I can pull it up. I can't describe it. Let me see if I can pull it up. See, I saw it. There. Okay. So if we were to travel in a rocket far, 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 far up in the air and look back down at Earth, this is what we would see. Okay. It's not a whole lot. This is just the water or the oceans that you're seeing right now with some clouds, but that's part of what you would see. And that little line right there, the atmosphere, we talk about that too. But if you looked outside of the Earth, beyond the Earth, and up here, it's just this big, huge black area. Okay, that is outer space. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Okay, so let me stop sharing or get out of this one. Maybe. Hold on. I'm working on it, guys. Hold on. Okay, I think I got it this time. Okay, so what we're going to talk about today. All right, I got my read aloud book here. So what we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about the sky that we see during the day or the night. Okay, it has two parts. We have the part that's the air and the clouds and is blue during the daytime. We see that it's close to Earth. And then that's called the atmosphere. So we're going to talk about that today. We're also going to talk about the big, huge black part that's really far away that we can't reach. That's outer space. Okay. And I want you to listen to hear about the objects that are in the sky and which ones are actually located in outer space. Okay. Because if you look up in the sky right now, we see birds, planes, things like that, but they're not in outer space. So let's get started. Okay. Ooh, it's a bright picture. Have you looked up at the sky lately? What did you see? Clouds, sun, blue, sometimes birds, sometimes planes. Just to kind of depend, right? So perhaps you saw a clear blue sky. Or maybe there were a few puffy white clouds floating around. Or maybe the sky was streaked with gray clouds. I know earlier this week we saw snow falling from the sky, right? Maybe we'll get some snow some more. Occasionally when you look up, you can see an airplane or a bird flying by, or even a red balloon someone accidentally let loose. So here's a red balloon. Bird. I can't get it all on the same screen. Sorry, guys. I can't shrink it down. Some days it's fun to lie on your back in the grass, stare up at the interesting shapes of the puffy white clouds overhead. Perhaps you or someone you know has even flown in an airplane. Up among the clouds high above the Earth's surface. Okay, remember, the ground that we walk on is the top layer of the Earth, called the Earth's surface or crust. And in the sky, there's a surface too. We'll talk about that one. Okay, I'm gonna try to get this as best as I can. I know I told you I can't shrink it. Sorry, guys. You can think of the sky in two layers. Kind of how like the Earth is in layers, the sky is in two layers also. There's a big blanket or a bubble of air that surrounds Earth. This bubble covers the whole Earth. See our bubble? All the ground and oceans and everything else on the Earth's surface, including you. This bubble of air is called the atmosphere. But the blue atmosphere does not tell the whole story. The second layer of the sky is all of outer space, which lies beyond the atmosphere, an endless expanse of stars and moons and other objects. All right, so we're talking about this part. This is space. Okay, this is our atmosphere. This is Earth, but this is outer space. Can't get my mouse to go. There we go. This is the outer space area. Atmosphere, Earth, outer space. Of course, during the day here on Earth, it's easy to forget that outer space is there, but it always is. The Earth, your home, is just one little object moving around in the middle of it all. Like a speck of sand amidst all the sands in the ocean. During the day, the sun shines over the Earth, shedding light on all the animals and plants that live on Earth's surface. The sun's rays, beams, spread across the skies, which appear blue to your eyes. The sun itself is a star. It is not part of Earth or Earth's sky. In fact, the sun is far, far away from Earth. So far away that it would take more than 3 months to reach it in the fast rocket ship. But even if you could reach the sun in a rocket ship, you would never be able to get close to it. That's because the sun, like other stars, is an enormous ball of very hot hydrogen gas. So it's not a solid, it's not a liquid, it's a gas. Remember that thin substance that passes through things? And if they didn't, it'd burn up fast. All right, everything that gets too close to it burns up instantly. So if you got too close to it, you'd burn up. Just how enormous is the sun? Think about this. If the sun was a huge bowl and the earth was marble, you could stuff about 1 million marbles in that bowl. In other words, you could take 1 million earths to fill the sun. Okay, so my globe is about the size of a small or a large basketball. Now think about this. If we're a teeny tiny little dot on this globe, this earth is huge. Now think of this. If we had 1 million of these huge earths and fit them all inside the sun, just how big would the sun be? Massively huge, wouldn't it? It's too hard to really describe. Let's see, we're a little low. Where are we? Let's keep going. That is the sun, guys. The sun is just one out of billions of stars in space. However, the sun is our star. It's the Earth's star. Without the sun, Earth would be cold, lifeless hunk of rock. All living things on Earth, from the trees to the bees, to the flowers and the fleas, rely on sun in one way or another. The heat and energy of the sun allow life to flourish here on Earth. So without the sun, we get heat from the sun, we get light from the sun, we get energy from the sun. If we didn't have those things, then nothing would be alive on Earth. So we rely on the sun a lot. We need its heat, we need its light, we need its energy. Things grow from the sun. We need the sun. The sun helps us too. Okay. Oh, that's pretty. The rising sun signals the start of a new day. In the morning, the sun rises in the east and its rays shed light across the land. So the sun warms up the land too. It's colder at night than it is during the day. People wake up and get ready for a new day, getting dressed and eating breakfast, and then traveling outside to wherever it is they go, to school, to the office, to a store, or simply out for a walk. Have you ever noticed your shadow on the ground? If the sun is behind you while you're walking down the sidewalk, then your body blocks the sun rays from creating a shadow. So here's a shadow. This is the shaded part, is the shadow. On the ground, your shadow is not the only shadow in the world. Clouds cast shadows as well. So do buildings and trees. Have you ever rested under the shade of a tree on a hot summer day? If so, you are resting in shadows cast by the tree's leaves and branches. On a hot summer day, you can feel the warmth of the sun on your skin. And if you do not use sunscreen, see, she's putting sunscreen on her, then you may get a sunburn. Ouch! The sun's energy can burn your skin, and that's bad. Sunburns hurt, and if you get sunburned too often, it can cause serious damage to your skin. On the other hand, the sun's light is also good for you. When your bare skin is exposed to light, your body creates vitamin D, which is one of the many vitamins your body needs in order to stay healthy and strong. So playing outside in the sunshine isn't just fun, it's good for you too. At the end of each day, when the sun goes down in the west, the sky changes. It isn't blue anymore. The sky becomes black and new sights appear. Instead of clouds and birds and blue sky, you may see an array of shining stars. You may see something else as well. Not the sun, but another object hovering in the sky above the moon. So sometimes we can also see the moon during the daytime. Over the next several days, you'll learn about the sun, the moon, the stars, and all sorts of amazing and interesting facts about outer space, the place beyond the Earth or atmosphere. This study of the stars and other things in outer space is called astronomy. The read alouds you will hear in the coming days provide a basic introduction to astronomy, but it's only a beginning. There's so much to learn about the stars and other objects in space that you could spend the rest of your life studying it or run out of things to learn and discover. That's because astronomy is the study of everything beyond the little home that we call Earth. And if astronomers have learned anything through the years, they know that there is no end to the amount of new knowledge and surprises to be discovered in the study of the stars and outer space. So, my friends, we're going to become astronomers over the next few weeks or a few days, few lessons, whatever you want to call it. So, let's talk about some questions that we've learned in our read aloud today, okay? Let's see. Name what you can see in the sky. Airplane, clouds, birds, sun, moon, stars. You just heard that the sky has two levels. The first level is made up of a blanket or a bubble of air that surrounds the Earth. What do we call that bubble? Do you remember? The atmosphere. You also heard about what's beyond or above the atmosphere and the level of sky we call outer space. What are some objects that can be found in outer space? The sun, the moon, and the stars. Okay, is the sun a rock or a star? It's a star. Is the sun hot or cold? Hot. Remember, you could burn up. What's the sun made of? Gas. And if you want to be real specific, it's hydrogen gas. Is the sun near Earth or far away? Far away. Is the sun bigger or smaller than the Earth? Bigger. How much bigger? 1,000,000 times bigger. All right, what's a shadow? It's a shady spot. And how are shadows created? By blocking out light. Okay, what do we call the scientific study of stars and outer space? Astronomy. And what do we call a scientist who studies astronomy? Astronomers. And we're going to become astronomers this week and next week and however long it takes us to finish this unit. So my astronomer friends, go into your Google Classroom, go answer those questions. We just went over all the answers and tell me how smart you are, okay? And I'll see you guys on our next lesson when we talk about, let's see, what are we going to talk about next? Oh, I'm so excited. What are we going to talk about? We are going to talk about, I can't get to it. Turn the pages. The Earth and the sun. I'm so excited. Are we ready? See y'all later.